Those who happen to have attended an all-acoustic evening at the Marin Veterans Auditorium by members of the Grateful Dead and others on the Tuesday immediately preceding the Frost weekend were given a distinct clue as to the identity of the next Dead cover tune debut. It came at that benefit show's close in acoustic form by Bobby, Brent, and Jerry in the form of the Sam Cooke classic, Let the Good Times Roll. And no sooner than the very next time they set foot on stage as the Grateful Dead did they truly let the good times roll, now in electric format. In the ensuing Feel Like a Stranger, solid whops alternating with crisp notes gave way to pure distortion, the full spectrum of Jerry's various guitar modes. The funky rhythm and blues mix of the now frequently played walkin' blues followed. Brent then shone brilliantly in Hey Pocky Way. Perhaps the highlight of the set was this Neville Brothers tune, complete with a well-developed instrumental interlude, reminiscent of that in Not Fade Away. Ramble on Rose and an ambitious Let It Grow formed the rest of the triad of songs which made up this set's strong finish. Many Northern California fans were thrilled by the first Bay Area Shakedown Street since January 1987. Women Are Smarter seems to undergo slight structural alterations every time it's played. This version, immediately following Shakedown, got the crowd going, as Brent rather than Bobby opened with the first lyrics. Then they took a sharp turn and dove into playing in the band. Mickey and Bill's drum segment was heavy on the space and electronics. The Going Down the Road Miracle Fantasy trend, set earlier this year, was finally broken, as all along the Watchtower, Black Peter and a rollicking Sugar Magnolia brought this set to a close. Perhaps the band wanted to play more, or maybe they wanted to supplement the set with a departure from the predictability of the encore. Or possibly it was a way to shake up the crowd. In any case, everyone was grinning from ear to ear as the band broke into a surprise China Cat Sunflower, I Know You Rider, capped off by a One More Saturday Night. Interesting, though, was the slightly more subdued mood of China Rider, as it was now serving to wind down and conclude rather than introduce a set. On Sunday, the winds had died down and the sun was shining hotter. The crowd seemed to be in good spirits, though, as the band hit the stage and warmed up for Phil to open the show. And open the show he did, in most crowd-pleasing fashion, with a splendid Box of Rain. From there, it was a jagged-edged transition into an explosive rendition of Hell in a Bucket. The word was out. To Lay Me Down, not played since 1983, had been performed several times during the recent spring tour. Following a short warm-up tease, the awaited Bay Area resurgence of this soulful ballad was put off in favor of a snapping, upbeat Cumberland blues. When Push Comes to Shove and Cassidy contributed to this ample set's relatively uneventful conclusion. As the introduction of a set is often the spot for the showcasing of fun cover tunes, this was a fitting time for the Bay Area debut of the Dead's new version of Louie Louie, featuring Brent on vocals. The pace quickened substantially for a solid rendering of Samson and Delilah, which preceded a melodic Eyes of the World. Following a short drum segment, an extensive space landed the band back in the reality of The Other One, complete with Bobby's extraterrestrial vocal effects. Things wound down towards Wharf Rat and Throwing Stones, which progressed into Love Light at the last second, rather than Not Fade Away. Last, but most assuredly not least, was the encore of Knockin' on Heaven's Door, perhaps the highlight of this set, sung by Jerry with full emotion and spirit. This year's Frost shows were characterized by several surprises, which included new material and unusual encores. The overall comfortable atmosphere of this venue made it, as it has been in the past, one of the most enjoyable on the calendar.